and welcome to our 5K tennis discussion. Hola y bienvenido a otra discusión de 5K tenis.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been, I think, Carla, maybe a week and a half since we've done our last tennis discussion.
We did it last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday?
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah.
We did our YTEX STRINGS Pentapower video on Sunday. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. We did some playing in that video. So we'll put a link above for it. How about that? So if you see something flash above the top of the screen, you can check out what we've been working on for about the past week and a half. But welcome back. Hopefully everybody is doing well. It's nice to do a show today, by the way. We had a little bit of time to spare before we traverse the day and go get our car fixed, right? So let's jump right into today's show. We have a few topics that we want to discuss that we have been talking about amongst ourselves and amongst our 5 children for the past week and a half. Because we're not doing shows, we are definitely still talking tennis. And I think we've had a couple of topics between ourselves and some of our students.
Yeah, and I've had quite a few of you send me messages. I had William Chia sending me news and keeping me updated with the Laver Cup, and Wildlife One also sending me messages about the Laver Cup. I guess they're huge fans, and about Kerber losing. So I have read some of the messages. I think B-Dog also sent me a message.
Oh, by the way, B-Dog, my San Francisco 49ers are 3-0. Let's get down. Should be 4-0 against the Browns next Monday night, which makes our bet pretty ready to be won on my side.
Well, he did still say that your 49ers are garbage, so
they're 3-0. But look, let's start right off with a couple of topics and try.
Well, before we go there, we did have a winner from our last fantasy group prize giveaway, and the winner was George Thomas. But he chose to send his sister his prize, which he picked for her was a YTEX.
I've never seen this. Can I see that real quick before we show everybody? Okay, so this is George Thomas, beautiful young lady here, I might add.
That's his sister. He's in India and she's over in the U.S.
Well, I must say, George Thomas, you have a beautiful sister, and the jacket looks well on her. So let's share that jacket with them, and thank you very much to Ivor Savage and YTEX Strings for the apparel that we give away for some of our fantasy team selections.
There she is with the YTEX jacket. Great color.
Beautiful girl, beautiful jacket, and great job, George Thomas, once again for your fantasy teams throughout the U.S. Open. If I remember correctly, you had one of the most solid teams we have ever done in 10 years of doing fantasy teams and a year and a half of doing this show. All right, so also, too, a quick shout-out to Hitchhiker out there. This is kind of a dedication show to Hitchhiker. Hitchhiker kind of sent us a message. He might have thought it went unnoticed, but it did not. Where we should just do, a once-a-week tennis news type update throughout the remainder of the season. So that way algorithms won't think we just gave up. So I don't know what that means necessarily.
Yeah.
But here we are. Let's go. So this is for Hitchhiker. Anyway, so we're going to start right out with something you just mentioned, and then that is the Laver Cup. Please forgive me if I rant on this subject or if I am deserving of my asshole merit badge that I wear proudly. Maybe I should get this engraved on my hat. It's okay. I mean, that's just sometimes the connotation that I get. But let's start with the Laver Cup. Carla, real quick question. Carla, did you watch the Laver Cup?
I tried. I really did. I watched a few points. Shapovalov was playing, I think it was Thiem. And I watched a little bit of Sock, and I couldn't do it. Federer was playing. I couldn't do it. Kyrgios was playing. I couldn't do it. So I watched a lot of clips and interviews and stuff, and I'm sorry, but for me, this is just not entertaining. I know it is for fans. I get it. Europe won 13 to World 11. Big shocker there.
A second question. Did you like or dislike the clips or the various clips that you watched? As you just mentioned, you watched clips and interviews and segments here or there of like Federer and Nadal coaching and cursing.
The one that I found the most funny, really funny, I could not stop laughing, was when Fognini was losing. He was losing to Sock, and Federer and Nadal were coaching him, And you could tell Fognini didn't want to listen to Federer, so, you know, then Nadal starts talking to him in Spanish, and Fognini starts speaking in Spanish. I was like, wow. But he still didn't want to listen. You know, he was telling them, he was being an ass like he usually is. The other clips, watching Federer curse at Zverev and telling him to do whatever.
Now, we mean curse. Let's define that. That means expletive,
I've never
four-letter words,
I've
whatever
never
you
heard
mentioned.
Federer do that before. You know, just effing win, whatever. I cringed. It's just not, I'm not used to watching that Federer. I thought it was all for show. It was all for show, in my opinion. Watching Kyrgios say, hey, I want to marry that hot chick, I can't concentrate.
Drinking
I just
beer.
want to cringe. The interviews were ridiculous. I watched when they lost the interview. Kyrgios was very disrespectful. They weren't even bummed out they lost. Fritz was laughing in the beginning of the clip. McEnroe was laughing. The reporters were laughing.
I think the clip you were indicating is post the tournament ending.
Yes.
And then Ranich was being, I guess the question, how did it feel to lose? And then Fritz, and Taylor Fritz, let's be real,
he was laughing
he's a
from
good,
the beginning.
Yeah, he's a good young man and
Yeah.
a fine young player. But he's like giggling at the question. It was so it was so not serious. It was comical. In a sense.
And I get it. You know, they're going to probably get on us, a lot of fans.
That's
I think
okay.
Wildlife said to me, come on, Carla, how can you not enjoy that? I just can't. I know. Good for Federer. Federer's making a lot. He's making this tournament big for him, which is good because when he retires, he can keep this going. But come on, world against Europe. Easily Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. If those three were playing together and didn't get anyone and maybe got like a few juniors, they would still beat world. They would still beat them.
I'm going to deviate even from that. I don't think it even matters that you give someone Team Europe or Team World connotation here. I think it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition.
And I read an article where even a guy said this is an exhibition. When is World going to win? When? I mean, we don't have...
Well, who really cares is the thing.
Well, aren't they trying to do the same thing as the Ryder's Cup for golf? Isn't it the same?
Well, yes and no. I'm not a big golf fan, but if any of you out there, I know the Ryder Cup's been around for a very long time. I think this is just year 3 of this exhibition. Ryder Cup is not an exhibition. Ryder Cup, if I'm, and I might be wrong on this, but I think the Ryder Cup is synonymous with the Davis Cup in tennis.
Yes,
it's more country.
Yes.
So this again is an exhibition. So I'm going to go. Thank you for commenting, and we're going to comment a lot more, but. This to me is an exhibition. Now, for a player such as myself, and surely Carlos has been involved in exhibitions before. I've been involved in many from a standpoint of the foundation, actually doing the exhibition or being an assistant thereof, or played at the same club in which the exhibitions took place. Generally, an exhibition is something where you involve the crowd. A lot of the exhibitions, even the top players, will have mics on. I remember we were doing one, Agassi and Roddick at the Mitchell Center here in Mobile, Alabama, and I can't remember the year, probably 04, 05, 06 time frame somewhere. And it was really fun stuff, you know, the crowd was involved, it was for a charity, they had the kids involved, Agassi and Roddick were talking smack over the PA with their headphones throughout the match. I get it, it was fun. So I must lay down the context of the cornerstone here, that tennis is everything to me. It's everything. However, with 5 kids, I think that for myself, I draw a line in between of what is just for fun and what is actually for real. And not saying that this tournament won't ever become for real, but you indicated, Carla, that throughout this 3 days where we have been doing videos and string tests and coaching and so forth, that the only thing you were able to see was quote unquote, her quotes, clips and segments. I think that that's what this tournament was designed to do, is to sell segments. That's why these things are going viral on social media platforms, and everyone is keeping up with this thing through nuggets on social media platforms. So what does that tell you? That we need a camera to be behind Federer and Nadal walking down the hallway griping at someone about no effing negatives.
You wouldn't have that in a regular tournament.
It's not going to be. There's not going to be any time to do that. The players are going to be shooting through to change their clothes. They're going to get medical timeout. The referees on the stands talking about, okay, time's ticking. Someone's going to get a game violation here. The thought of chugging beer and having a Yankees hat on and talking trash to the journalists, respectively, and the post-match interview room is just not going to happen.
Well, we know
maybe to a certain degree, but no one's going to be chugging beer there. For me, this is an exhibition. I must reiterate, I love tennis. Everything tennis is what I do. It's what we do as a career. I love it.
It's great for fans, Justin, because they get to see, Nadal and Federer possibly for the last time. Who knows? Possibly. They didn't even get to play together this time. Last time they played doubles, but Nadal pulled out because he withdrew from his next match against Kyrgios because he had a hand injury or inflammation in his hand, and
or maybe he just pulled out to make it closer for Team World and Team Europe.
Well, then Kyrgios pulled out because of an injury as well, so I think they put Taylor Fritz in there and someone else. So, I mean, it's fun for the crowd. They bring new people to tennis. Okay, I could see that positive. Make it fun for tennis. It's a show. I don't know. It's a show. You get to see these guys together. But let's be real, Federer and Nadal could have beaten that whole team too. Let's add some juniors to it. And didn't you tell me that you read an article? Why aren't women invited? Why aren't?
Well, yes and no. I get that it's the Laver Cup, just like in Davis Cup we have the Fed Cup and respectively. Just saying. But so we have the Laver Cup. Well, maybe there could be something like the Navratilova Cup. Or something that maybe Osaka could come up with, or Serena could come up. Who knows? I want to say these things real quickly and move forward. In terms of tennis, it is everything to me. In terms of this tournament, it's a 0 to me at this point. I'm sorry to say it. It's like watching a bunch of boys hang out at the local pickup court and playing matches first of 5 games, win by 2, tiebreaker at 5-5 for $50 at join-in, except this is a $250,000 type deal. It's an exhibition. It's meant to sell tickets. The segments that Carla you alluded to, that was a wonder. I didn't think that. But yes, this was a tournament of viral segments that to me were generated or fictitiously or scripted done to sell the segments. The camera randomly behind Federer and Nadal walking in, no effing negatives, or watching them perfectly in the camera, both chanting with each other, come on, right next to each other, and their heads are perfectly like this. Look, it's great to sell tickets, I understand that, and I'm not being the merit badge holder here. I'm not being that. But for me, tennis is tennis. It's a battle, and this is an exhibition. It's adjusted to attain segments, and when you have that, it's an exhibition. Plain and simple. For me, what did I have? Poking fun at the interviewers, chugging beer in the interviews. John McEnroe taking this question from a friend, saying, "Oh, well, you already know the answer. This is not a nightmare; it's a dream," or whatever happened. To me, I just saw it for 20 seconds. It was like, "Geez, please turn the segment off." But some people lap it up. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather watch World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE wrestling, or watch like people even on the Olympics? So if you were watching the biggest WWE wrestling match, respectively, and you were watching the 2020 Olympics next year, would you rather watch the biggest WWE match or those two guys that gets kind of boring sometimes if you don't know the actual sport of wrestling? What would you rather watch, honestly?
I don't like WWE.
But I'm saying, for the masses, for
the masses, they're going to watch WWE.
They're going to watch WWE. Yeah. Most people are going to turn on wrestling or sumo wrestling, respectively, and they're going to be like puzzled by it. But when you watch, come on, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Chugging beer, what do you got? What's my name? Come on. This is what you're selling here. You're selling.
We're going to get trounced on this.
That's okay. I mean, I love the game. No one can tell me I don't love the game. I've grown up playing it. It's my passion. We coach it. I love it. It's my everything. If I die with a tennis racket in my hand, I'm happy. So no one can say that because it's my everything. I bleed it. I grew up with it. It's all I know. It's all Carla knows. It's what we do. And what your dad does, what my dad does, my sister does, your brother does. It's in our family and it has been. So don't tell me.
It doesn't have to be in your blood though.
But look.
It doesn't have to be.
But look, let's be real. Here's a couple of nuggets that I wrote down to an ending. Jack Sock wins his first match of the year in singles.
Woohoo!
Let's go!
And he looked like he's been drinking beer. That belly.
Both of the biggest tennis bad boys this year that Carla and I came up with a list, and all of you were at this tournament. Fabio, the beautiful beard himself, Fognini, who wanted to bomb London, showed up. Was there not anybody in the top 8 in the world better than him to shoot in there if it really meant something? Or was it just more bad boys to be there? Nick Kyrgios was there. I get Nick Kyrgios can beat anybody in the world, but just like Goran Ivanisevic has recently stated, one of my favorite players of all time, there's no way he can win.
I mean, look at Jack Sock. Does he not look like he's
show that picture, please? Can you show that picture?
Can you tell me this is a professional-looking player?
Show that dude, man.
He looks like he's at least 20 pounds overweight.
Make sure they see that. Lap that up.
Look at that.
Okay, lap that up.
I mean, look at his face.
And I get it.
That's okay if you're like a recreational player.
Man, I'm in way better shape than that. Like, and I'm 42.
I had one tennis student say he looks like he's had quite a few beers. His belly is like huge.
So both bad boys are there. Kyrgios is there, again alluding to Goran Ivanisevic saying that there's no way Kyrgios right now with his current mindset can win a major because he just shows up when he wants to type thing. I would agree. I like Kyrgios, but in the sense if this tournament is so very important, then I don't know why you have Fognini or Kyrgios there if it's truly the ultimate goal for Team World or Team Europe to win. I am, by the way, and I might say this, I am looking forward to the Davis Cup. And this is a quick shout out to Sister the Queen out there. Much love, California girl, California boy here. Great to hear from you. Sister the Queen on the last show commented that will we be watching the Davis Cup? And
I will watch it. Isn't Djokovic playing for Serbia?
I would think so. I don't know.
Well, he's still his injury, right? We're not sure. He's trying to get back for Shanghai, I think. But not sure. I think Wayne Chia sent me a message telling me that I guess he keeps up with a lot of the news, and he said Djokovic was still thinking about playing in the Asian Tour.
So let's take a look at this. The Davis Cup for eons, maybe not eons, but for a very long time.
Tokyo, so he's still thinking about playing that one.
Well, good for him. I think there's still a toss-up between him and Nadal for the year in number one. So I think there's still some points going on, a little bit of maybe not terribly important fighting going on between Nadal and Djokovic. I think it's probably more important for Nadal. Hence why I think he pulled out of this fictitious Laver Cup. But let's look at something real quick. The Davis Cup has been in a traditional format, team versus team, throughout the year for a very long time. I love Davis Cup. The Davis Cup is changing to a new format, and the finals will take place a little bit later on in this year, and a different type of kind of bracket format. This has come to pass because of certain exhibition at this point in time tournaments like the Laver Cup, and we've discussed this before, as well as Sister the Queen indicated that will we watch the ATP World Tour Cup. We're not talking about the ATP finals here, and again, I didn't know until I read her message, and I didn't study it really any further. I knew that there had been the idea of there being this new type team cup thing from the ATP at the year end. I didn't know it had come into fruition yet. So check this out. We have the arduous tennis season that starts in January at the Australian Open. Okay, we roll through. We got even before that, Brisbane. Then we roll into there's one in New Zealand. I forget which one. That Auckland, and then it's the Australian Open, and then here we go. The two brief hardcourt tournaments. What is it? Sony Ericsson, and then you jump out. Or I don't think it's Sony. I think it's the Miami Open now. Then you jump out west to what is it? We got shirts from there this year.
Indian Wells.
Indian Wells. Thank you. Your brother went there and played doubles. And then we run into the clay season, and then we get into the brief grass, and then we go on the hard court run, and then we play the U.S. Open. Everyone's beat down already. So there's a window at the end of the year. There's always been the window at the end of the year where players take time off. But because of the ever desire to attain more dollars, we now have, let's say, the Laver Cup. But because the Laver Cup comes out, oh no, now the Davis Cup is going to lose interest. So, oh no, we've got to change the format of this. Oh, well, if we're going to change the format of this, then I'm going to be the ATP, and I'm going to make the World Team Cup so I can compete with you and not that. And here you go, the end of the year, where you have the top players now that can afford to chill or give 10% effort. They only give 10% effort, or they don't show up, or they pull out with a fictitious injury. So the end of the year is saturated, watered down to me tennis, and there's nothing that anyone can say or do.
There's a lot of 250 tournaments right now,
and even then, there are some tournaments that are important for players at the year's end. Let's look at Osaka that just won a tournament. Important for her because she
just won the Torrey Pan Pacific Open. She beat Pavlyuchenkova. It was her first title of the year. First time winning that title, by the way.
And also, I think Osaka beat Putintseva.
Putintseva for the first time with no coach.
So you beat Potty Mouth Putintseva for Osaka. That's good because Potty Mouth Putintseva has been Osaka's kind of kryptonite for Superman for a long time. So for her, Osaka, that's a good tournament and a good win. For the rest of the people in these tournaments, I get there's some big ones that are worth a lot of points.
There's right now for women is the Wuhan Open, which you got all the big players playing that. You got Barty, Kenin, Bertans, Bencic, Pliskova, who was playing against Anisimova, who lost her dad just a month ago. First tournament back, so
sorry to hear that.
Kvitova. So you got quite a few. Kerber was playing this but lost. So quite a few high-ranked players playing. There are tournaments on the women's side.
Yeah, exactly.
Women's side, because they don't have things like the Laver Cup, or they do have the Fed Cup, but I don't know how that goes.
So yeah, I mean, here's Roger Federer again. No disrespect to him, but you're creating this new thing in tennis, and it isolates the men. Again, and it's an exhibition on top of that. Since it's an exhibition, throw the women in, or hopefully maybe Serena or some other mega six-figure millionaire, $100 millionaire athlete can do so. But without hundreds of millions of dollars, it's going to be tough to do this. And personally, I get that the crowd is lapping up the segments of Federer and Nadal's perfect picture timing.
I wonder how they split up the money. I wonder how they do that.
It doesn't really matter to me. I think you could get the
Do they get prize money? I think they do.
They get like a $250,000 a player, I think, for every team that wins, for every person on the team that wins. Mm-hmm. But let's for me, again, as a coach with kids and live in an area where a lot of tennis courts are dilapidated, I would love to see maybe all that money since it is an exhibition.
Well, I think many of them disagree with you.
Well, that's okay. I would love to see them play this as an exhibition and donate it to the charity to rebuild infrastructure on tennis courts.
Because everything I get back from viewers is, but you should see them. They were playing hard.
That's okay.
They were playing their heart out.
I understand that. Look, I'm going to end this topic on this. These tournaments right here, this one that we just are talking about, is about money. That's it. Whoever, Team World is not going to change out the number one ranking for anybody at the end of the year. It's an exhibition. It's not formulated into anything at this point in time that changes anything for next year, seeding thereof, or the Australian Open, or whatever you want to say. I'm sorry. It's a beer chugging exhibition, and then that's it. I'm not saying I don't like it. Again, I am all things tennis, period, and the discussion is what we do. But do I want to spend time out of my day watching post-interview beer chugging?
And I'm shocked that Raonic played.
I just don't want to see it.
Raonic played this. He pulled out with he had an injury. Remember, he didn't play the U.S. Open? And I wrote it down because I was shocked. Oh, he pulled out with a glute muscle injury.
Whatever.
But he played the Laver Cup. The U.S. Open is like so much more important.
Anyway, the Laver Cup is now at the end of the year after the U.S. Open. We have the Davis Cup Finals at the end of the year now at this point after the U.S. Open. We have the ATP Nitto Finals that happen every year, which are a part of something in a sense. And I never was too fun about that indoor 2 out of 3 sets to claim the $1 million at the end of the year. That as well, and that is kind of on the paper as being legit. Now we have this ATP World Team Cup that I think is supposed to take place in January, and I'm diverting to Sister to Queen here. And then we have Auckland, Brisbane, and then the Australian Open. So you have to ask yourself, how do you take a break from that? You don't, in a sense. The players that have the ability to go to the Bahamas or Cancun or Monte Carlo and put their legs up for a month or two and play some exhibitions, they can do that. The players that can't afford to do that are in the Asian swing right now. And that's it.
So Davis Cup, it says here, Davis Cup is November 18th to the 24th. That's when the Davis Cup is.
Anyway, my feelings on
November 18th to the 24th.
Yeah, we said that on the last show.
November.
My feelings on the Laver Cup is, if again, my metaphor is going to be, or analogy is going to be, you have pro wrestling, like real wrestling, like at the Olympics, which no one watches unless you're an actual wrestler. And then you have WWE that even non-wrestlers watch because it's a theatrical performance. Okay? You have tennis, like majors and ATP 1000 and premiers, women's and blah, 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 blah. That real tennis fans watch and the like. But then you have the Laver Cup, synonymous, in my opinion, with WWE, that you can get non-tennis fans to lap up so you can watch people that you've always just seen segments of, throw a few curse words out and cheer for the camera, and then pull out with injury and laugh in press conferences. What's the difference? What's the difference in WWE and the Laver Cup? In my opinion, at this point in time, not much. That's it.
Wow, you went on for a long time.
Topic number 2, and this is kind of a shout out as well to Trevor Klassen. He wrote a message out here that got me thinking. Here's the topic. Who has the better comeback? run? Who has the better comeback run next year? Kim Clijsters or Andy Murray?
I think, well, right now, currently, Murray is playing Tennis Sangren, and William Shea was watching this match, and he said, Murray looks really tired. He's like panting, and I think men's tennis is a lot more grueling on the body since they played 3 out of 5, and I think Clijsters will have a much better comeback. Just because women's tennis, there's a lot of female players out there, they don't think, they just want to hit the ball. Some of them don't even want to give 100%. I think the men's tour is a lot more grueling, longer, tougher. You've got the young guns that are trying to fight. You've got the veterans still there. Tough for Murray to come back, in my opinion, with an injury. Clijsters was not injured. See what I'm saying? She was not injured.
Yeah.
The difference there.
When I started just jotting notes about this topic, when Trevor sent it the other day, my first inclination was Kim Clijsters. Who would have his Trevor Klassen's comment was something along the lines of, between Andy Murray and Kim Clijsters, who has the better chance of coming into the top 5 or even top 10 or winning a major? Something in that line. Right when I read it, I automatically said Kim Clijsters.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Well,
so let me finish real quick. However, it wasn't at a show not terribly long ago where Simone Simonovic called me out with good, solid facts when I was saying Wawrinka was a better player than Murray, and he started out his kind of, not rhetoric, but his defense, saying that let's look at the statistics. I think you might be biased because maybe I hit a one-handed backhand and Wawrinka hit a one-handed backhand and Murray hit it 2. In other words, I think Simone Simonovic was telling me I was probably biased because I like Wawrinka's games better. But
he said that Wawrinka's game looked better, yes.
But let's look at his game on paper.
Numbers, yeah.
So alluding to this, we looked at some numbers between Kim Clijsters and Andy Murray today. It's hard to deny Andy Murray would have the biggest comeback. However, Carla said it perfectly. The men's side is much tougher and deeper. The hip injury is brutal. I know he says he's pain-free right now at this point in time. I do respect Andy Murray's humility and his mental projection of coming back. I watched an interview and read a couple articles with Murray saying that he'd be naive to think that this wouldn't be maybe anywhere close to where he used to be. And I love the humble attitude. But Murray, we can't forget, has won.
And he beat Tennis Sangren. He did win today.
And Murray's won 3 majors. He was number 1 in the world for quite a while. I know Kim Clijsters, I think, won 4.
She has 3 U.S. Opens and one Australian
she won
Open.
4. So look, I mean.
But then you have to look at Murray. I mean, he's won 2 Wimbledons, 1 U.S. Open. He's made 5 Australian Open finals and 1 final French Open. He's also won the Tour finals, and he's won the Olympic Games twice. His career titles, not as many, 3. Whereas Kim Clijsters, she's won 41 career titles, held number 1 in 2003 for singles and doubles. She's won 2 French Open doubles, 2 French Open Wimbledons, and Fed Cups and finals. So she's had better titles and better slams, but she's a woman also, so it's a little bit different. Plus, she didn't have Nadal and Federer and Djokovic.
Yeah, quick question.
In her section.
What do you think? Here's the criteria. Who do you think has the better year next year on their comeback tour? Kim Clijsters or Andy Murray? I'm going to go with Kim Clijsters only because of the hip surgery, and that can flare up at any point in time. And I'm gonna go with Kim Clijsters.
I also had Michael Walker. He sent me a message. We did our YTEX video, and he said, I know a number 1 division male player that could beat Serena right now. So there's comparing women's tennis to men's tennis. He probably is right. I said maybe Serena from now, not vintage Serena, but it just shows you how much tougher it is to get into the pro tour on the men's side than the women's side.
Yeah, and
you need a serve in the men's side. You need a serve. No serve, you're done. I'm sorry.
We'll see how it goes. I'm going to stick with Kim Clijsters on that one. Again, the 2 out of 3 sets of being all across the board on the women's side too, versus when the majors pop up 3 out of 5 with a hit. I'm going to say Kim Clijsters has better results. What happened?
Nothing.
Hey. All right. Men's side will be tougher though. Men's side will be
Men's
tougher.
side is always tougher. Yeah.
All right, Carla. Did you have any tournament results you want to
Well,
discuss?
we did mention Osaka winning the tournament in Osaka, Japan. So she won Toray Pan Pacific Open, first title for the year. Sophia Kenin won Guangzhou, defeating Samantha Stosur, who hadn't made a final in 2 years, and will now be ranked 92 in the world. She was out of the top 100. Kenin is creeping into the top 10. We mentioned the Wuha Open. Sabalenka won that tournament last year. By the way, she destroyed Collins in this last tournament.
Who, Sabalenka?
Yes, it was like 6-0, 6-1.
Let's go. What do you think Aryna Sabalenka will win a major next year?
Still, my answer is no.
If so, I'm gonna laugh at everyone that doubted me for that one.
Still no.
Who will have a better year next year, Naomi Osaka or Aryna Sabalenka?
Osaka.
Sabalenka.
In the men's, Daniel Medvedev wins St. Petersburg, defeating Borna Coric. That's his third title of the year. Tsonga wins Mosella Open.
Isn't that in France?
In France, and
Indoor,
now it
too,
will be
isn't it?
ranked in number 39. That's a 250. And then we have Zhengdu Open, currently right now, another 250. And we have the China Open coming up, which is a bigger one. That's a 500. And then there's Shanghai's Masters after that.
Speaking of Joe Wilfred Tsonga, does anybody like the white hair version?
No. We talked about this before. No.
Interesting look for Tsonga. Another upcoming tournament, though, Carla, and I know this will be maybe important for anybody out there, but we are looking to do our first 5K tennis inaugural tournament with either a $10 or $20 buy-in for all of our students
It's
here
10,
at 5K Tennis.
It's 10.
We might do 20 though.
No, it's 10.
$10 buy-in for all of our students, and then the top two finish it all in round-robin format.
They win it all, yes.
So that'll be a good job for them. But
First place and second place take it all.
First and second place. So if you get 20 people, $10 a piece, that's $200. Round robin creates a semifinal and then a final. Top two split the 200. Good for the kids.
Well, no, you want to make the first place always higher.
Well, okay, 64.
You never say 50.
First place,
50%. Why
60%.
try?
I get it, but that's coming soon. We'll try to figure out a way to get some clips for that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much to Hitchhiker, by the way, again, because we did this kind of weekly news show for you because you said to try to do it because our algorithms will be saved. Let's go.
Boy.
Over the year, we've had microphone. We had like 3 people say, if you get a microphone, you'll get 1,000 views overnight. Let's go. We got 3 microphones and our views went nowhere.
Nowhere, no.
So on this one, Hitchhiker says, if you do it, these algorithms.
It's on you, Hitchhiker.
It's on you, Hitchhiker.
If I lose viewers, it's your fault.
Beer jug. We'll see what happens. Also, too, B-Dog, don't doubt my 49ers. They're 3-0. Thanks so much to Ivor Savage and YTEX Strings for the fun-filled past week and a half doing the Pentapower video. Again, check that out. I'll throw up.
Check out their site. They have a starter box. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Y box. It's called the Y box. If you're a player and you haven't hit with YTEX Strings or haven't heard of them yet, they've been out for a while now. And
you get a few goodies.
and are quite global. I think it's like $50-$60, whatever. You get like 5 sets of strings, shirts, or shirt, whatever. It's a good deal. You can check that out on YTEXStrings.com.
And they got some pretty neat hats now, or caps.
Yeah, the hats rock.
Yeah, I'm going to get one, so I'll wear it. I'll rock it for the next show.
Let's get down. That's how we roll. Carla and I played a match yesterday. I got bageled. I have to say so. Because, I was...
I don't even want to brag about that.
I couldn't run, but I still showed up, and I don't make excuses. But it's okay. I was dealt a bagel. So I'll give her that win. I think I had won the past 2 previous to that since we've done a show. So I think you're 2.
No, that's not true. And
I know there was a 7-5 in there.
I won a
I won
7-6, and then I won
7-6.
6-3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday I couldn't run, but if you still...
He couldn't run. I could have played him lefty and won.
Well, that's incorrect.
Okay, I could have not hit as hard.
I mean, every time I would step, I'd be like,
I need to make him run, and that was it. Put it away.
Since I've approached 42, I now feel my age. It takes me like an hour to get out of bed now. But that's all right, because I keep grinding. Let's get down. All right, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And again, if it's not for all of you, there is no us at least doing this. But nonetheless, thank you so much, and we will see you soon. And I think Carla's off to get our car fixed, right?
Yes.
Alas. Take care. See you next time. As Carla always says.
Adios.